City
News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. My name is Salom Adunu. Tonight I'm here with
Eno Safo.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes.
No voter shall wear the color of any contestant at the voting center, being a t-shirt, caps, or posters of contestants.
All is set for MPP's parliamentary primary slated for Saturday, January 27. We'll tell you more later, and we'll give you some analysis also on some polls in some of the keenly contested constituencies. Also coming up, Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Interior recommends prompt and adequate compensation for victims of the March 7, 2023 military brutality at Ashaman following the killing of a young soldier. Committee also calls for the identification and punishment of the soldiers who indulge in excesses during the said military operation. Still on Eyewitness News, former President Mahama calls out the Ghana Bar Association for being silent on misgovernance in MPP regimes, while quick to criticize same under the NDC. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Stakeholders in trade sector call for policies to address barriers that hinder intra-Africa trade.
there is more business in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates and around the globe at citynewsroom.com. Your comments are welcome via our WhatsApp line 0549 986 996. You can follow me on Twitter or X at Selom Adun. The hashtag, as always, is City Newsroom. Now we hit our first story, where the New Patriotic Party goes to the polls tomorrow in respect of constituencies, or the constituencies the party has sitting members of parliament. As you may recall, a couple of weeks or months ago, the party went to the polls also, or in the first instance, to vote for parliamentary candidates in constituencies where they did not have parliamentary representation, or MPs. They call them orphan constituency. As you may recall, or as you may know, the MPP has 137 members of parliament, which means that there are quite a number of constituencies this time that, you know, the party will be hoping to elect its candidates to face their counterparts in the other parties in the parliamentary election of 2024. The party has been busy issuing guidelines and ensuring that things are done properly so that they do not leave the event tomorrow divided. My colleague Samiri Afe has joined us in the studio to help us appreciate some of the concerns and some of the issues that have come up. Samiri, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Salam. Good evening.
Yes, the MPP has been preparing for the day, and the day has come. The day is tomorrow. What can you tell us really about some of the preparations and some of the major things that the party has been doing?
Well, the party says it is ready for this election. The General Secretary of the party addressed the press some 2 days ago to outline what the party is expected to do, especially delegates, when they go cast their ballots tomorrow in 102 constituencies. It was supposed to be 137, as you mentioned, but some of the members of parliament are going unopposed, and so they will have only their acclamations. Some already have done theirs. Others expected to do theirs in the coming days ahead of the election. There have been some few court issues, and the party will have to put on hold this particular election in these constituencies. And just some few days ago, we heard of the issue in the Equiapem South constituency, where the incumbent member of parliament for the area, Obi Amwa, after filing his nomination, decided to withdraw from the race. So the party is also putting that election in that constituency on hold till the National Council determines what really is going to happen in that particular poll. So the party says it's ready. 102 constituencies are voting. Voting starts from 7 a.m. and ends at 2 p.m. And the party says immediately voting ends, counting begins. And so they will not wait for the usual 5 p.m. where they will wait till the voting ends and then count. But this time around, from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., every constituency will count the ballots as it is in the box. All the constituencies have also been given specific areas that voting is going to take place. So, in collaboration with the regional leadership of the party and the constituency, they've selected an open place where the voting is going to take place. The party says that any voter who decides to display whoever he or she voted for, more or less taking a photo, will be punished. They've asked officials of the Electoral Commission and the Ghana Police Service to take charge of security, and the EC should expose those individuals who make attempt to showcase their people or the individuals they voted for. So all in all, the party says it is ready for tomorrow and is expecting a peaceful and a very successful election on Saturday, which is tomorrow.
Well, what is the party doing about matters of vote buying, etc.? Because I've seen some videos, I mean, on social media. I cannot vouch for those videos, but videos of candidates branding certain appliances, etc., supposedly meant for tomorrow for distribution to the delegates and etc. Even tomorrow, maybe they could be distributed tonight, so they come to the polls informed of who exactly to vote for. Is the party concerned about that? Has the party been speaking about that?
I've had a Deputy General Secretary of the party, Dr. Haruna Mohammed, say that if anybody has evidence of vote buying, the person should bring it to the attention of the leadership of the party, and the party will take action on it. Yesterday, I also heard the special prosecutor also say that he is going to monitor this election closely. Issues of vote buying coming up, they may want to wade into it and also try and investigate these allegations. So the party says that if there's anybody who has evidence with regards to this issue of vote buying, just bring it to the attention of the party, and the party will take appropriate step and appropriate action with regards to this particular one. But Salam, the election, really, a lot of people are looking out for election in some constituencies across the country. Here in the Greater Accra region, a lot of political watchers are putting the spotlight in the Yawaso Central constituency, the Dome Kwabenya constituency, as well as the Wejak Bawe constituency. Another constituency people are also, keenly looking out for is the Ablekuma North constituency. Ablekuma North constituency, because there is going to be a repetition of the 2020 primaries in the MPP, where you have the incumbent member of parliament, which is Sheila Battles, facing the former member of parliament for the area, Ekuya Efiye, who is currently the deputy ambassador to China. She's touted this whole battle as a golden comeback, and so she wants to more or less take back what really belonged to her in this whole primaries. In the Yawaso Central constituency, we have the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Mr. Henry Korte, being challenged by Moses Abo, who is the former youth organizer for the Greater Accra region. In the in the Dome Kwabenya constituency, 3 people are in the race. Incumbent member of parliament, Sarah Adjoa Safo, and her main contender in 2 previous elections, Michael Okwe Jr., whose dad was also a member of parliament for the area, currently serves as the CEO of the Free Zones Authority. And then there's one lady by name Sheila. Sheila also happens to be Sheila Sechi. Sheila happens to be the chief strategist at the office of the First Lady and the legal advisor for the Rebecca Foundation. So these 3 people are in the race for tomorrow as far as the Greater Accra region is concerned.
Yeah,
and City News will be in these constituencies.
Exactly.
To give listeners what it is.
Talking about being in the constituency, let's give you a foretaste of what to expect tomorrow in terms of our coverage and everything. Our correspondent in the Ashanti region, Hafiz Tizani, is on the ground. He has all the information in respect of the constituencies in the Ashanti region, the hotspots where the issues really are, and the areas we have to pay attention to. He joins us on the line. Hello, Hafiz. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News. How is the region? I mean, that is the stronghold of the MPP. That is what they call the World Bank of the party. One of the most populous regions in terms of course, electoral votes or votes generally. How is the atmosphere there ahead of tomorrow?
Very charged but calm because delegates are preparing. The aspirants are also making their last-minute attempts to reach out to all the delegates to be able to convince them to vote for them and also give out their numbers on the ballot the positions the delegates are supposed to look out for and vote for them in the primaries tomorrow. So we are looking at over 36,000 delegates from across the constituencies where the elections will be taking place to vote in this election. So out of the 47 constituencies, 11 constituencies are not voting, and we are having in all 126 candidates who are contesting in the 36 constituencies that will be voting. We have some of the constituencies where the candidates are going unopposed, and some constituencies where the candidates are not going unopposed is keenly contested in those constituencies. So let me just run you through some of the constituencies that are going unopposed. So you have the Bufunchi constituency where the energy minister is representing.
The education minister, you mean?
Yes. The education minister.
Yes.
The education minister is representing the Jisu constituency where the deputy finance minister, the Fidasi constituency, Mr. Uyefuye is representing there, the Offensive South constituency, and the Adansi Akrofom constituency. So these are the constituencies where the sitting MPs are going unopposed. So we have other constituencies that are orphan constituencies. So they are out of this picture because they are not taking part in this election. They have done theirs already. But the 36 constituencies which will be contesting, we have 126 aspirants who are going to battle it out in the contest tomorrow, Salom.
Yes, before, I wanted to find out whether the issues surrounding Wontumi and all of that, the chiefs and all of that, is not having any impact on the race ahead of tomorrow.
Well, for the party, it is focused on organizing the election. These are side matters it would not want to talk about for now. The party has already, through its general secretary, has issued a warning and a caution to all the party supporters, all the party communicators who go on radio to speak on national issues, to speak also on political issues, to desist from commenting on this issue on the Mensa Palace. The party says it is taking steps to address some of these concerns. Already, the General Secretary has led some party officials, including the national organizer of the party, to the Mensa Palace. And then the Kumasi Traditional Council also requested that the party ensures that Wontumi appears before it. This week, we had some grapevine information, unconfirmed though, that the Asante, who is currently out of town, has intervened in the matter, wanting to cement the conversation so that the political activities or the political tension already in the country, this will not compound the tension in the region. These are reports that we cannot independently confirm, although we have made some efforts to contact our sources at the Mensa Palace, but we are not getting a concrete confirmation on whether or not the Abutunfo has intervened in this matter. But this matter, though, is not out of the woods yet, but the party says that it is focusing on its political activities and they are refraining or they are telling their members to desist from commenting on this matter. So it's not having a major hindrance to the preparations of the party in terms of their primaries and other political activities. I
see. So talk to us about Bantama. Bantama appears to be one of those areas we want to watch because of its own history of, for the last few elections, changing candidates, or MPs every now and then. And now having Asenso Boache, Works and Housing Minister, coming up against Ralph Ejipon, who is the junior brother of Kennedy Ejipon, and all the rhetorics and all the matters that have played out in that particular constituency. It makes it a very hot place and a place where a lot of attention will be. Talk to us about that constituency. What is going on there? Who is on the ground? And how is tomorrow likely to be?
Well, all eyes on the Bantima constituency because of the personalities involved, like you said. So many watching close are seeing this contest to be between President Akufo-Addo and Kennedy Japan because both gentlemen were in the constituency when Asensu Boachi invited the president to commission a library facility in the area. The president went ahead to campaign for Asensu Boachi and told the people that they should retain him because he has worked with him when he was the deputy chief of staff, and he has now elevated him to the Works and Housing Ministry as a substantive minister, and that he trusts his hard work and he's someone who can bring development for them. And Kennedy Japan, weeks back after the president came into the constituency, also followed up to campaign for his brother. So many see this as a contest between the president and Kennedy Japan because of their lineage to these candidates who are contesting in the election. So Bantima is going to be one of the constituencies in the Ashanti region to look out for because of the contest. But delegates are divided. While some believe that Asensu Boachi needs to be given another term, others think that he should also give way to someone to come in because he has also come to unseat another person, that is the late Ochema Boaji. And when you speak to constituents, they have seen some developmental projects being spearheaded by the incumbent member of parliament, Asensu Boachi. You talk of the Atafua Bridge. It's a major project because that area is flood-prone, and when it rains, a lot of communities there are cut off, and work is ongoing in that area. And a lot of people there who are not even delegates are clamoring for Asensu Boachi to be retained because they believe he has done so well for them. But when you go to other communities, they are not also happy about some of the encounters they've had with their incumbent member of parliament, and they want him changed. And in the 2020, when the incumbent member of parliament came in to unseat Ochema Boaji, the supporters of Ochema Boaji are not still happy about the turn of events in that election. So they are also seeing this as a payback time, and they are also showing their support to Rap Japan. And Kennedy Japan coming in to also throw some jabs at the incumbent member of parliament is also a very topical matter in the Bantima constituency. But the over 800 delegates will decide tomorrow whether the incumbent member of parliament who characterizes this election as a contest between a choice between an Aboboya and a VIP bus. He calls himself the VIP bus, and his contender being the Aboboya. So the delegates will decide, Salam.
Yeah, the sentiments you talked about, I mean, some being happy with Asensu, others not being happy, etc. Are these sentiments being expressed by delegates or ordinary party members?
Most of them are ordinary party members, but for delegates who have issues with the incumbent member of parliament, these are issues drawn back from the elections in 2020, where they were divided among Asensu Boachi and the late Ochema Boaji. So some of them still harbor this and say that they were sidelined when Asensu Boachi came in, when they didn't support him. When he came in as a member of parliament, they were sidelined, and they are not ready to support him. So they are showing their support to the brother of Kennedy Japan, Rap Japan. So for the constituents who are ordinary party members, because Bantima is a stronghold of the NPP, they are looking at some of the developmental projects the incumbent member of parliament has spearheaded. That is why they are urging the delegates to vote for him. And they are also not happy, the constituents are not also happy about the one-term cycle that is creeping in the political history of Bantima. They want that stopped, and even if they will not continue, or they want to continue with that, they should give Asensu Boachi the nod to serve them again so that another person can take over.
All right. Finally, before you go, Hafiz, is Kennedy Japan still in the constituency? And if no, when did he leave? How long was he there? If he's still there, what has he been telling the people? Because it appears that his initial, talk about exposing Asanso Boachi didn't go down so well with a lot of people, at least from where we sit. The situation on the ground may be different. But is he still there? If so, what has he been saying? If no, how long was he there and when did he leave?
Well, for the 2 weeks he was in the Bantama constituency where he met some delegates and spewed out these comments against the incumbent member of parliament, we learned that he came back and met delegates, but this was not public. These were meetings, should I say, secret meetings with delegates ahead or as part of the campaign for his brother. So some of the meetings are not public, and so we are not able to tell, but we have been told that by some of the campaign team of Rap Egepon that he has been frequenting the constituency as far as the campaign is concerned. But as Nsubasi views these allegations as distraction, he wants to maintain and remain focused on his campaign so that he can retain this seat.
I see. Let's deal with some more constituencies. What happens to Katie Hammond's Dancy Asokwa? There were some issues that Katie Hammond petitioned the party over the eligibility of some of the candidates, etc. But that didn't go well. What is the sentiment in that constituency as well?
Well, delegates and constituents are divided. So Katie Hammond is facing a stiff competition from Samuel Benfo, who contested him in the previous election. And 3 others are also contesting him in this election. But Katie Hammond believes that he's experienced. He's someone who knows the constituency. These candidates who are coming to contest him do not know the constituency so much, and they cannot project the constituency as he has done. So he has been telling delegates to vote for him to retain their Dancer Squad seat. But the campaign also is going on hard on Katie Hammond for many who believe that he has served the constituency for a very long time and he has to give way to the young people in the constituency to also serve. But Katie Hammond is not taking this campaign lightly. He's fighting to retain his seat.
I see. Another place that has come up is in Shaisu. In Shaisu, there's been a court injunction on the election and a few other things. What can you tell us about that particular constituency where Kennedy Kankam appears to be the man in question?
So he's a former MP for the constituency. So after the 2020 election, he was appointed to head the Asakoi Mampo Municipal Assembly in the Ashanti region, and the Deputy Trade Minister, who is the incumbent member of Parliament, Kennedy Kankam, is coming back, vowing to recapture the seat from him. But Seka is not also taking this lightly. When you go to the Ishaisu constituency, Seka has mounted giant billboards to try and attract delegates, and the campaign there is shaping up so thoroughly. Kennedy Kankam is not giving chance to the seat, as well as Seka. There's one gentleman, George Udum. He is not heard of, though he is part of the contest. A lot of people do not think that he is the focus, but the focus is on these two personalities, Kennedy Kankam and Stephen Amwa, who is popularly called Seka, who is the Deputy Trade Minister. So the Ishaisu constituency is another constituency to look out for, because a former member of Parliament who believes that he wants to come back and snatch the seat from an incumbent who is a first-timer in Parliament is going to be very tough. And Ishaisu is also one place to look out for.
In the Swami constituency, the current member of parliament is the majority leader, the longest serving MP in the chamber as we have now. He's bowing out, and I'm sure a lot of people are eager to see what happens next. How is that constituency looking like? Who are the people there?
So John Darko in 2015 was not able to contest the outgoing member of parliament for Swami, who is the majority leader. He's making a comeback this time. He believes that he's someone who has served the party. He is a private legal practitioner, and he says he's someone who was denied or was not able to take the nomination forms in 2015 to contest the majority leader, and this time is his. But one person who is also in the contest and the focus is on him is the MC for the area, who is the special assistant to the majority leader. Many believe that the majority leader is just giving in the or just making way for the MCE to replace him because he is exiting and the MCE is also contesting. And lawyer John Darko, on the other hand, is making some efforts to be able to capture the Swami seat, which is vacant. We have one Kobna Osaidi before. He is also in this contest. And we have another person, Pius Echampon. So 4 people are contesting in the Swami constituency.
Very well. Hafiz, thanks so much for speaking to us this evening on the matters. And indeed, Hafiz and his other colleagues in the Ashanti region will obviously be busy tomorrow, covering the stronghold of the ruling New Patriotic Party. Now let's go to the northern part of the country. There are a few issues there as well. Our man on the ground is Mohammed Alabira. He joins us on the line. Hello, Mohammed Alabira. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
Yes, tomorrow is a big day for the MPP, and there are a few constituencies in the northern region which are of interest to many people. One of those constituencies is Yendi, a traditional seat for the MPP. What can you tell us about that constituency? Indeed, it's a race between Farouk Mahama, who is the MP and son of former Vice President Aliyu Mahama, and Hajia Habibata, who is the chief executive of Maslog. They slugged it out the last time. Farouk edged it. This time around, the two are at it again. What can you tell us about that constituency?
Yeah, thank you so much, madam. What is happening in Yendi currently is that all is set for tomorrow's election. Delegates and aspirants are all getting ready for tomorrow. Yes, I was in Yendi yesterday and have interacted with constituents and delegates. And actually, delegates are divided over the choice or over who they should vote for. Yes, as some say, no, this time they should try the woman to see what women too can bring on board. Others also feel that, no, the MP, for the first time, as a first-timer in Parliament, has done so much for the constituency, so he must be given the chance to continue. So these were some of the things that maybe delegates that I have interacted with since yesterday have been saying.
I see that we've seen videos also of branded TV sets belonging to or purportedly belonging to the sitting MP Farouk Mahama. His pictures, etc. on them. We cannot verify those independently. But have you seen those videos? Have you been as you went to the constituency? Did you see anything like that? What have they been saying? People in Farouk's camp, are they saying these are real? These videos and these appliances are really coming from him? And what are the delegates saying in respect of that?
Yes, personally, I can verify that yesterday I was at the residence of the MP, and personally I saw some of the it wasn't only the TV test and things that were being distributed or that were being put on ready to be distributed to the delegates. I saw sewing machines and number of that, and then mobile phones were all there packed to be distributed to delegates. Yes, what many are saying is that it's like the MP, because he knew he hasn't done so much, because according to some of his critics, they say during the last campaign he promised so much. Yendi water is a major thing. The president came all the way, took the overload of Dabong Yana to the park, had a spot for Yendi water. As we speak now, there's no water in Yendi. So some of his critics are saying that because the MP hasn't done so much of his promises during the last time, these are some of the things that he is doing to get delegates to vote for him. So personally, actually yesterday, I saw some of these things that you talk about.
All right. How about which other constituency in the northern region is of interest, really? A lot of them, are running unopposed. So, for example, where a lot of the younger MPs and first-time MPs, yes, have come from, Alassane Tampuli Gushewu is going unopposed. The Tolon MP Idrisu Habib is going unopposed. Mohammed Amin Adam Karaga MP going unopposed. And of course, Mboba Nitul himself, of course, we know his issues with Zaruk and all of that, but that was quite an issue. And eventually he goes unopposed. A lot of them are going unopposed. Is there any particular constituency apart from Yendi that you as a journalist will have your eyes fixed on?
Yes. Zabzugu constituency and Miang constituency. With Zabzugu constituency is the Deputy Chief of Staff, Fawaz Ali. He is contesting with the incumbent MP John Denam Jabba, and it's a place to watch out for because over there, a lot of factors are playing out. I would not want to say that a lot of factors there in Zabzugu constituency is playing out. So he coming from the present office to contest the incumbent MP there is something that I am interested in to see what would be the performance there. And at Miang constituency, the former mayor of Tamale, who also contested for the national executive position of the party, Musa Superior, he's at Miang constituency contesting with the incumbent Aziz over there. So that is another place that my interest is. And tomorrow, God willing, Citi News shall bring listeners up to date in what is happening in these constituencies, Miang constituency and Zabzugu. But I am based currently in Yendi, where the interest is, Yendi is the heartbeat of NPP in the northern region here.
I see. Thank you so much, Mohammed Alabira, our man in the northern region. And tomorrow, he will also be very busy dealing with the major areas, major points of interest in the northern region. Citi 97.3 Citi FM is a place to be. 97.3 FM. For all your election coverage news. Our coverage is, as always, comprehensive. And the analysis are spot on. Now, let's speak to authority. Let's speak to the MPP as a party itself. Deputy General Secretary Haruna Mohammed joins us on the line. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. I don't know if issues in the Yendi constituency in respect of alleged vote buying, etc., have come to your notice. Have you seen the videos and have you heard anything in respect of this from the Yendi constituency?
Not that I know. Nothing of that sort has been brought to our attention as a national party.
And so you've not seen the video, the national party, or even you as individuals or private persons have not seen the videos. The persons in the area have not complained to you, have not told you that candidate A or B is donating or giving out certain appliances or goodies.
Not at all. We have grievance procedures now. and nobody has used any of those grievance procedures. And also, we are very focused on the conduct of the election and the materials and the that are supposed to go in. We have not had the opportunity to see any video of such nature.
I see, but it should obviously be a concern to you if these videos turn out to be genuine and to be right. Indeed, we can confirm from what our correspondent tells us that is what is on the ground. Will you want to talk to your people on the ground to also verify same, so you can set your processes in motion?
We have sent various personnel from the party headquarters to supervise these elections at the various regional levels. We have also instructed the regions to assign persons to this particular constituency. At the end of the day, we will receive reports from these people, and vis-a-vis the reports get from the media will be matched and be analyzed very well to be able to get concrete evidence if such a report is being made. I believe the National Party will be in the rule of law, and we frown on such use of money in elections, which does not result to a good democracy we all strive to build.
I see. So talk to us about your preparations for tomorrow. How many constituencies are running? When are we to start expecting results and all of that?
Okay. By this time, we had 104 constituencies that were going in for the competition. We had 33 of them that were also going in for acclamation. So if you put all together, you get 137. Out of the 104, we have put Ekwapim South on hold. We have also put Aguna West also on hold because of court issue. Mampong has also been put on hold because of court issue. I'm getting the information that Obuasi West has also had court issue, and that one will also be put on hold. So if sum all together, it gives you 4. It means that we have 100 constituencies that will be running elections tomorrow. As a law-abiding party, we ensure that we tend to the rules of the game and to ensure that we give fair grounds to everybody. We have made sure that all materials related to the conduct of the election has been handed over to the Electoral Commission of Ghana, which by law is mandated to conduct the elections on behalf of the New Patriotic Party. We have also seen the security arrangements and details to the Ghana Police Service, who have taken charge of this security arrangement, and all men and women in uniform with regard to Ghana Police Service has also taken the center stage in terms of the security arrangement. We have done everything possible. Men have been deployed, including my boss, the General Secretary, who will be in the Central Region to supervise, to make sure that we are able to get a smooth parliamentary primary.
Talking about, of course, so the number of court cases, this time around appear to be overwhelming, is it not? Is there an indication that your internal conflict resolution mechanisms or your internal processes of resolving conflicts is broken down, for which reason a lot of people have seen it more useful to go to the courts? What's really happening?
We can't necessarily say so that it's because of the internal mechanism procedures which are good, because we have not appreciated ourselves to the fact that the court case is in relation to a matter that not be properly been resolved or resolved within the structure of the party. We are yet to look at the merit of the case, and we don't want to judge the case ahead of time. So the party will look at those particular cases. If it borders on internal mechanism, our lawyers will look at it and make sure that this is put before the judges to be able to make a decision that will inure to the benefit of the New Patriotic Party. And also, if you look at the number of court cases that goes, it also tells you that the MPP believes in the court process. In some other parties, you would have seen that they would have been raising their arms, and then people will be beating others. You see blood oozing out from other people, and so on and so forth. But this party has made sure that our members of our party will resolve to the legal process, and this party will make sure that we follow it through to ensure that we give everybody fair hearing.
Very well. We'll be following tomorrow, and we'll be there to cover, the events as we've always done. Thank you so much, Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, speaking to us on preparations of the party ahead of tomorrow's primaries. Quite a number of candidates are going unopposed, and some constituencies to have been put on hold, mainly because of court issues. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for a comprehensive coverage of the elections tomorrow. Our reporters are dotted across all the relevant constituencies, and will bring you timely updates and incisive analysis. A few of your messages have been coming through. Zalex Duane in London says more incumbent MPs will lose their seats in tomorrow's primaries, and we need peaceful elections. Akapaul Jr. and Alphamim says, I only hope and pray the electorate will practice what their executives preach. The elections must be peaceful in order to win the hearts of floating voters in the December poll. Neo Dig in Accra says, I wish the Elephant family all the best tomorrow, but Ghanaians will bring JDM 24 hours economy to power come December 7. Jones Adoboinla says, good evening, Salam. We wish the MPP the best and hope to see them together after the election. Ghanaians are not angry enough. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break. We'll return and deal with more. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The wait is over. It's the Clash of Titans. The Total Energies African Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023 is here. And as part of this year's competition, all Total Energy service stations will go into 100% football mode. So drive to selected service stations and kickstart your year with lots of amazing giveaways. So starting Sunday 14th January, when you buy fuel or lubricants on selected match days from selected Total Energy service stations, you instantly win amazing branded souvenirs. Let's celebrate the passion of football together and win lots of gifts during the 2023 Total Energies African Cup of Nations. Remember, promo is valid while stocks last. Visit our social media pages Total Energies GH for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Let's live football together.
Do you care enough about your business? Then it's time to make a transition to renewable energy and energy efficiency solutions. Visit the AGI Energy Service Center and talk to us. AGI ESC cares about business growth. That is why we're here to assist industries cut production costs through energy savings. We provide you with solar feasibility studies, energy audits, energy efficiency trainings, and financial advisory services. Visit agiesc.com for more information or call us on 0507 977 902, an initiative of the Association of Ghana Industries in partnership with the German Development Corporation, implemented by GIZ.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. The Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament wants the state to promptly and adequately compensate persons who suffered military brutalities in Ashaiman on 7th March last year. Some residents in Ashaiman were subjected to acts of torture during a swoop by the military to find suspected criminals in connection with the killing of a young trooper, Imuru Sharif, in Ashaiman. After nearly 10 months of investigations, the Committee of Defense and Interior is, among other things, recommending compensation for the victims. The committee is also recommending that all soldiers who indulged in the excesses associated with the operation should be identified and dealt with in accordance with Section 32 of the Ghana Armed Forces Act 1962, Act 105.
All right, so Eyewitnesses on 97.3 Citi FM. I have the report before me, and I'll be taking you through some portions of the report, especially the observations and the recommendations. Let me just take a few of the observations before I do my next interview. So, the committee observed the following. So, institutional failures of security agencies. The committee observed that there was no collaboration between the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Police Service in the Ashama operation. The committee noted that intelligence-led operations within the country that border on crime are the preserve of the Ghana Police Service. Therefore, intelligence gathered by the Ghana Armed Forces should have been passed on to the Ghana Police Service for necessary action. The committee observed that an inter-agency collaboration could have averted the type of brutalities that was witnessed at Ashaiman. Also talked about deteriorated relationship between the military and then the civilians. Also calling on, or they observed that there was lack of awareness of the benefits of peaceful coexistence, and they said that is detrimental. Also, the issue about the timing of the operation. The report essentially tried to, from the military side of things or the defense side of things, the Minister for Defense and all the officials who appeared tried to say that it was something that was coming. You know, the military people had been attacked and all of that, and that particular part of Ashaman had become a no-go area. It's become a den of criminals, and nobody dared to go to those areas. That was one of the reasons why the exercise was carried out. Now, the observation made by the committee is that although the raid, the military raid in Ashama was based on intelligence as indicated by the military, the timing of the operation appeared to be inappropriate and could be interpreted by the public as an act of revenge for the death of the soldier. Indeed, that's what a lot of people think, that the action was occasioned by the killing of the young trooper, the young military man. But the military or the defense ministry tried to say that, it was, not necessarily so, and that there were a lot of other things that had happened to the military, and that particular area in Ashaiman, was a den, became a den, or had become a den of criminals. In the minister's briefing, the Minister for Defense's and the military high command's briefing to the committee, they cited a number of instances. They said, or they referred to a warrant officer of the Ghana Armed Forces who was beaten and dragged on the floor by supposed langas at Kaswa, and also mentioned another incident that took place in Bibiani in February 2023, where they said 2 soldiers were beaten up mercilessly. They also mentioned the issue of some 5 soldiers who were beaten up by a mob of young people in Domifase, if you recall that incident. They also mentioned Major Mahama and how the mob action led to his death and all of that. So the point they were making was that the military appeared to have been under some attack from the public, and that this action or this raid was not necessarily because of the matters that happened to the young trooper, believe that or not, but that is the explanation they gave. Let's speak to the MP for the area, Ernest Nogbe, Honorable. He was very instrumental in getting the committee to visit the area and all of that. Incidentally, he's also a member of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. So it was his committee, or a committee was a member of, that looked at the matter. He's joined us on the line to help us appreciate some of the concerns he raised then and what the report has captured. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Obviously, we were part of the process that led to the submission or writing of this report. How are you satisfied with the recommendations and all those remedial measures that have been spelled out in this report?
Well, thank you and good evening to your listeners as well. Yes, I should say I'm very much satisfied with the recommendations of the report. The committee did a yeoman's job. We had to spend a lot of time in Ashaman, going to Ashaman to investigate the matters, first-hand information, bringing on board all the actors in the matter, listening to every party. And so we have done a yeoman's job, and I should say that I'm so much satisfied with the recommendation. That is me. The point.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, the point here is that yes, the report is yet to be taken on the floor of the House. Though it was laid on the House, we have not debated it yet. So whether the House will admit it or not is yet to happen when we resume sitting in on February 6th. Because we have finished our work since almost 3 months ago, or more than 3 months, and the report was laid on the floor 3 months ago. It was up, in and out on the other paper and then the business statement, but had not been debated. The reason for which I may not be able to tell, but I'm hoping and praying that when we resume on the 6th of February, Speaker will direct that the report be taken. But by and large, the recommendations, as you read them, I think I have a copy of the report, the draft report yet to be taken on the floor. I have the report of it. So your recommendations that you explicitly read out are very accurate.
I see, very well. So we'll be watching the space. But the of interest to me, really, and I'm sure a lot of other people, is the briefing as provided by the Inspector General of Police. He essentially said that it was a robbery incident that resulted in the death of the trooper. What else did you find, about this? Was a gentleman in military uniform? Was it easily ascertainable at the time of the incident that he was a military person? Did he engage the criminals? What happened? What really happened? What did you find out?
Well, you and I may identify the officer as a military officer, even though he was wearing just a black top, a black T-shirt, and then a short that is military short. So we can tell it to be a uniform. But as and whether the perpetrators of the crime also identify him as such, we may not be able to tell. Yes, they were about to take his laptop and then an iPad from him, and he was resisting that they were not going to take it. So based on that, they have to use some sharp knife or whatever it is to choke him, and then he bled to death. Those were the things we found out. But as I said earlier, you and I know very well, the police are the internal investigators of matters of this nature. And so in spite of the police doing their work, the military also took action. They came to the committee, the leadership admitted that, yes, they sanctioned the operation, but there were excesses, which they rightly admitted. But out of the 200 residents that they took to the barracks, none of these 200 people that they tortured, that they beat, that they maimed, were found culpable of committing the crime of killing the trooper. And so you rightly said it, that the police, the IGP said it was a robbery incident, and that was it. It was just a robbery incident. There was a scuffle between the trooper and then the robbers, and one succumbed to it, which we very much, we are not happy with, but that was what happened.
I see. The military, the defense minister, when he appeared before you, the committee, said that parts of your constituency, became or have become a haven for criminals. And so part of the reason for the raid was to rid the area of such miscreants. It says, and I quote, the minister stated that the operation was carried out at Tulaku and Taifa, suburbs of Ashaman, which were declared as no-go areas to the high level of criminal activities that had been occurring in those areas. According to him, military intelligence received necessitated the need to flush out criminals in the areas which had gained a reputation of being unsafe and dangerous to the extent that residents could not move freely, especially in the evening. Do you find this, convincing or compelling enough or a reason to make or to trigger, a sanctioning of such an operation from the military high command?
Not at all, because there's no particular place that I can pinpoint today as the member of parliament as a no-go area in Ashaman.
They say Tulaku and Taifa. Tulaku, Tulaku and Taifa. Very prominent areas in your area, in your constituency.
Very prominent areas. Tulaku is where I go to buy my meat almost all the time. It's a friendly environment. Taifa is where We all live. We go there at any given point in time. So nobody, and these are center, especially Taifa, is at the center of Ashaman. And so you cannot term a place that is center of Ashaman as no-go area. Now, let me ask, is it the military that will determine that a particular place in Ashama is no-go area, or the police, that we have a divisional police and we have a district police in Ashaman, who will determine that? Which of these two, institutions that will determine it? We don't have military, barracks in Ashaman. We don't have camp in Ashaman, but we have police station, we have district police station, we have divisional police station in Ashaman. The divisional police station is not far from the Taifa that they are mentioning. It's just a stone throw. And they were not able to determine that that place was no-go area. So why should the military come from Burma camp or Michel camp determine that that place is a no-go area? So it's not something that we are happy with. It doesn't happen in Ashaman. Yes, Tulaku is where they transact businesses. I mean, we have a lot of our northern brothers. And at the point in time they conducted the raid was when issue of Boku crisis was happening. So when they met the committee, they even cited that there were gunshots at Tulaku, blah, 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 because of the Boku incident, which we cannot, as a member of parliament, I did not know anything about. I have not heard any gunshot anywhere or whatever it is. I did not hear that there was a fight between two factions from Boku who are residents in Ashama. I did not hear anything about that. But that is what they are saying. But I want to state that as a result of the death of the trooper, that led to the raid. So if the military are saying that it was not necessarily the death of the trooper that resulted in the raid, how best to differ? And that is why we are saying that the timing was not good for us, because that was the time that the trooper also died, and you raided the place, and you are saying that it was not because of the death of the trooper, which we all regretted. You are saying that it's not as a result of that. So you are saying a different thing altogether. So Ashama is always peaceful. In fact, 30 years, 15, 20, 30 years ago, that they will say that Ashama is notorious of crimes and etc. It's no longer as today. You can come to Ashama 24 hours. Anywhere you want to go in Ashama, you will see a motorbike taking you to your destination. You will see businesses going on in Ashama. So even the 24-hour economy that my flag bearer, His Excellency John Mahama, has promised, we are practicing it even in Ashama as we speak. So he's using Ashama even as a case study. So why then will you say that there are places in Ashama term as no-go area? We don't buy that idea at all.
I see. I find your segue into the 24-hour economy quite interesting. But that's fine. So it means Ashama is open for business 24 hours, and so the 24-hour economy is already booming in Ashama. That's good.
Exactly the case, because when you come here 2 a.m., I can bet you if you want food, you can get.
Very well.
If you want to go to your destination, you will go. There's nothing wrong in Ashaman.
Very well. Thank you
so much. If you look at the statistics for the past 5 years or 10 years, crime rate has reduced drastically in Ashaman. So the military cannot take advantage of this situation. They acted. The lawyers will say ultra virus, because the leaders of the leadership of the military high command admitted that they ordered for the raid, but there were excesses. So those excesses, that is why we are saying that those who perpetrated those excesses must be brought to book and be punished.
Very well. Thank you so much. The Honorable Ernest Nogbe, Member of Parliament for Ashama and a member of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's speak to a security analyst, Emmanuel Kuting, joins us on the line to also help us appreciate some of these matters from the point of view of an analyst and of an expert. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. I don't know if you've seen the report, but what do you make of the police's or the military's justification of the raid, or for the raid, that it was because the area had become a den of criminals and people could no longer go into those areas? essentially distancing the incident of the death of the trooper from the raid itself. How do you reconcile that? How do you see that?
Salom, thank you for having me, and good evening to your cherished listeners. Happy New Year to you and your team as well. In fact, I want to side with the MP. If you look at the country, we have hotspots. Hotspots doesn't mean that there are no-go areas. And is there like saying that peace is not the absence of conflict? So obviously, determine Ashaiman to be no-go area or otherwise, we can say a community is a community without the absence of crime. There's crime everywhere. It's only Ashaiman a military trooper has been killed before. We get military or security personnel killed in other places. Look, Salom, let's be serious as a country and call a spade. I think we miss an opportunity as a country and as a democracy to put a stop to military brutalities that have happened in this country over the period. What we have simply done is to arm the military and at West to empower them to believe in themselves they are the law and can determine what to do at a particular time. In a democracy, some of these things are not accepted. The commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces is the president. How did he become the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces? He got that power through the people. Is that not it? The very civilians these military personnel went to brutalize. What did the president do? There were calls for a national commission of inquiry so that we can put things in its better perspective. The work of the committee at West, it can go nowhere, Salom. This committee report, apart from coming to the plenary for discussion, and at West, Speaker could recommend it to the executive to act on. And you and I know what happens in this country when issues of this nature come to the plenary. It becomes a political matter. So to me, as a country, we joke with security issues too much and we politicize things in this country. Look, the Assam case was one of the biggest dents in our democracy, and international communities even condemn it. You saw BBC, CNN, and other international news outlets reported the incident. And what we are sitting here today as a country is to discuss a report that have no legal effect from the Committee of Interior, Defense and Intelligence of Parliament. So, after 30 years of the Republican democracy in this country, I think that we must make sure that our institutions work. And if our institutions were working, we won't be having this discussion to even begin with. Look at the terms of reference of the committee, point number 3, where it says that they are to determine the basis for military brutalities in the communities. Second, if you look at law, look at the word brutality. Any form of brutality is crime. How do you determine the basis? Are you to justify saying more? So to me,
no. I mean, what they tried to say was, to determine how come there were military brutalities in the communities. I think.
Then the wedding, the so to speak, didn't portray that. It's the Queen's language you are speaking here, Solo. And I think that, like the Dampari audio tape, it's the same thing this thing is going to happen. We should stop wasting taxpayers' money. Because at the end of the day, this thing won't come to nothing. I will urge the victims to get a very good lawyer and look at the window of opportunity where they can go to court. I know going to court in Ghana is not easy. It can take so many years. But the wheel of justice grind slowly so that they can get some form of compensation for these victims. You know, a lot of them have lost their lives. Some were even breadwinners. And as usual, this very report is trying to justify why the military entered Ashama. In a democracy, what business has the military got in such communities?
And the committee indeed condemned that. So I think we are happy the committee condemned that. I think there will be opportunity to digest the report, into greater detail, and I'm happy that you'll be available, hopefully to deal with that. Yes.
Beyond condemnations, what happened?
Yeah, so there are recommendations, compensation, and all of that have been listed. So I read out the recommendations as they've been spelled out here. Recommendations flowing from the evidence adduced by the committee and having regard to the legal framework concerning incidents of this nature, the committee recommends the following. Persons brutalized by the military in Ashaman on March 7, 2023, and who sustained various degrees of injury should be promptly and adequately compensated by the state. The compensation must be extended to cover those persons whose properties were destroyed in the course of the military swoop. Number 2, the committee abhors any form of torturous handling of civilians by the military or any security services for that matter. The committee calls upon the leadership of the Ghana Armed Forces to educate their personnel on the legal demands and consequences of such acts. 3, the committee further recommends that the soldiers who indulged in the excesses associated with the operation should be identified and dealt with in accordance with Section 32 of the Armed Forces Act 1962, Act 105, which stipulates that, quote, every person in the armed forces who behaves in a cruel or disgraceful manner shall be guilty of an offense and on conviction liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years or to any less punishment provided by this act, end of quote. For the committee again recommends that the National Security Council ensures that there is collaboration and coordination among the security agencies in the country, particularly between the armed forces and the police service in the execution of their functions and duties. The committee entreats the security services to follow their respective mandates as provided by law. The committee emphasized that the involvement of the military in internal security operations must be a last resort. The police service must in all instances be the lead agency in internal security operations. The effective coordination of intelligence must be promoted at the National Security Council level to prevent the recurrence of such excesses. The committee finally also recommends that the armed forces work towards improving their relationship with the public to engender trust and confidence in the populace. So essentially, that is what the committee has recommended. I think it falls largely in line with what we've been talking about. Thank you so much, security analyst Emmanuel Kuting, for speaking to us tonight on Eyewitness News.
I'm most grateful, Salam.
Have a good evening. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. And let's see what John Mahama has been saying about the Ghana Bar Association.
Flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, is urging the Ghana Bar Association to uphold consistency in its actions and statements across different political administrations. Mr. Mahama noted that the GBA has been relatively silent on certain issues during the current NPP administration compared to their vocal stance during NDC governments. He stressed the importance of the GBA maintaining a consistent approach and speaking up on matters of national importance regardless of the political party in power. John Mahama made these remarks during an interaction with representatives of organized labor at the Great Hall of the KNUST in the Ashanti region.
GBA spoke about perception. Well, what's the reality? Does GBA go to sleep when NPP is in power and wakes up when NDC comes? We'll see. In 2025, we'll see whether you wake up. That is true. You know yourselves. That is true. That when NPP is in power, they do the most outrageous things and you are quiet. And yet when NDC is in power, the least, mistake, and GBA has issued a press release. It's true. You know it's true. And so the point is, the truth is one. And the truth is the same under Rawlings, It is the same under Kufuor. It is the same under Mills. It's the same under Jomama. It's the same under Akufo-Addo. The truth does not change. If you are concerned with people's rights, you are concerned with protecting human rights and freedoms, you must be consistent under any administration. Not only be concerned under some administrations and not under other administrations. There was a time under the one administration, an NDC administration, GBA said that they had stopped all the political decisions, that they wanted to concentrate on their core mandate of professional training and turning out good lawyers and so on and so forth. I mean, since when did that happen? GBA is a professional body that has been involved in political activism and human rights protection. Over the years, you were a leading member of the professional groups that were in the People's Movement for Freedom and Justice from then. And so what has changed?
You heard the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Mahama.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break. We'll return and do City Business News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The wait is over. It's the Clash of Titans. The Total Energies African Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023 is here. And as part of this year's competition, all Total Energy service stations will go into 100% football mode. So drive to selected service stations and kickstart your year with lots of amazing giveaways. So starting Sunday 14th January, when you buy fuel or lubricants on selected match days from selected Total Energy service stations, you instantly win amazing branded souvenirs. Let's celebrate the passion of football together and win lots of gifts during the 2023 Total Energies African Cup of Nations. Remember, promo is valid while stocks last. Visit our social media pages Total Energies GH for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Let's live football together.
Are you ready to exhibit your products and services for delivering affordable homes? Are you interested in learning about alternative technologies for developing cheaper buildings? Then, the Ghana Institution of Engineering presents the first ever Building Technology Fair in 2024. This fair brings producers of sustainable building materials, service providers, contractors, researchers, regulators, financiers, and all other players in the building industry under one roof to showcase emerging technologies and options for affordable buildings. The exhibition also offers an opportunity to learn about alternative building technologies, investment opportunities, and cheaper financing for building your dream home. The fair comes off at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly on the 27th and the 28th of January 2024 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come, let's connect, learn, exhibit, and explore alternative means of building cheaply and sustainably. To book a space or exhibit or make inquiries, contact us on 020-167-6610. Our media partners are Citi TV and Citi FM. See you there.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Enosaf. Let's settle for the details. Maritime professional Maria Ogbogu is advocating for African nations to strategically optimize their trading choices in order to bolster economic independence. She believes that a deliberate approach to import and export choices can empower African nations to break free from historical trade imbalances, promoting self-sufficiency and contributing to the emergence of a more equitable global economic order. Speaking to City Business News, Maria Ogbogu urged African countries to minimize reliance on traditional trading routes that often channel significant financial resources to the European Union's economy.
Optimize our trading choices. As Africans, we can look more to trading among ourselves as a first priority to the extent that that's possible. And where that is not, we can look to trading with other partners in the global south, such as China, India, Brazil, and other Latin American countries. So by being strategic about who we import from and where we export to, we can avoid transferring hundreds of millions of euros to the EU economy and to the EU's innovation fund.
You heard maritime professional Maria Ogbogu. Tax consultant Francis Timor-Boy has lauded efforts by government to extend the time limit given to audit firm KPMG to complete its audit on the questionable contracts between the Ghana Revenue Authority and Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. According to him, although additional costs will be incurred as a result of the grant of request by the presidency, the initiative will rather save taxpayers from several losses of cedis, depending on the outcome of the ongoing investigations.
The extension request by KPMG is something that is normal with any assurance service. Of course, they have a reputation to protect. So if they realize that they cannot do a good job or they cannot finish within the time of 2 weeks, then the honorable thing is to ask the person who appointed you to, extend the time. Of course, it's going to cost government some additional money, but I think that if that will enable them to do a good job, then that is better for government to agree. And regarding why the president refused the ongoing exercise by GRA, the request that the GRA made, the investigation or the expose was quite, huge. $100 million involved in this particular transaction. I believe that the president thought that, look, let an independent person finish with the investigation, and then when we finish and we realize that there's no substance in the investigation, then you can continue.
Francis Timor-Boy is a tax consultant. In its quest to increase advisory and tax services to support capital raising for small and medium enterprises in the country, KPMG, PwC, and Deloitte have launched a campaign to improve access to finance for these businesses. The move is also support the growth and expansion of these businesses while creating investment opportunities for capital providers. Speaking on the sidelines of the launch, Chief Executive Officer of GVCA, Hannah Akwa, said the collaboration highlights the commitment of these industry leaders to contribute to the growth of the private equity ecosystem.
This cooperation between the Ghana Venture Capital and Private Equity Association and the big three, that's Deloitte, KPMG, and PwC, it's about ensuring our ecosystem in regards to our investment firms, our fund managers within GVCA, have a good pipeline of investable businesses, meaning these SMEs who will engage the big three for investment readiness training are going to get top quality investment readiness training.
Hannah Akwa is the Chief Executive Officer of the GVCA. Yawa Pialate, partner at Deloitte, also highlighted efforts his outfit has put in place to ensure SMEs benefit from this collaboration.
A lot of the SMEs you've interacted with, or if you talk to any small and medium-sized entity, they'll tell you they walk to a bank or they met an investor who refused to give them the money. So their main problem is lack of access to financing or lack of access to funds to expand their business. We think it's similar to anybody who is walking on the street and has got a headache. The headache is only a symptom of something that's bigger. And so for us at Deloitte, we provide what we call SME support services to help them access the financing. So for you to be able to be investor ready, we take you through an investor readiness support. So our investor readiness support cuts across about 3 or 4 things. The first one is helping you get the right governance structure and regulatory structure. We want to be sure that you have the right management team who can run the business.
Yawa Pialate is a partner at Deloitte. The campaign is supported by the Ghana Venture Capital and Private Equity Association and the Ghana Investment Support Program, and powered by British International Investment. That's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. The business news on Eyewitness News is brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan. Make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Inosafo.
Hello, Linda. You won't believe what I am planning next. I want to start my postgraduate degree, buy a car, and build my dream home. But But you know what's stopping me?
What's that, Mike?
Money, oh. That be my biggest wahala.
Oh, you are sorted, cry. With a GCB Big Move personal loan promo, you can borrow up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours.
Like, seriously? How do I qualify?
Yes, it's available to all GCB salary account holders. Plus, you get a 2-month grace period before you start to pay back.
Susket, I'm opening an account with GCB now.
Get a personal loan of up to 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours. Call 0800-422-422 or visit your nearest GCB branch today to fund your next big move as we celebrate 70 years of greatness. T's and C's apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Media Sambisanda mo. Etiemra tiano. Mumu wepa ne tumi fi na mo bodompe mo man yakono.
Eye kwabna.
Na mumu honsu ne tumi just mali me ma yene nyina de.
Eye kojo.
Enu kro. Kobre tumi wi na bodompe mo sense o yusu president eba. Ayede yan ban ne do braye. Bu si echi na mo ho ban na sem ma na hoode ne. Sa ani na kudwo nso yusu president chako. Na no ne de e ma wo se wo ye krejen fita. Na wotimi asiri bedwo ma na feel you.
Kojo. Sa.
Yeah. President Eba and President Chaco. Afedie. Your corner natural.
FTIJ Chadian Katuyatu.
Hey, Opeyin, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes. The Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profits or non-profits, are included.
Okay, but won't my personal information be disclosed?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise will begin in January 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2024 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Our time is actually fast spent, but we're still with the MPP. We speak to pollster Musa Dankwa of the Global Info Analytics. He's done some work on some of the contentious constituencies. Dome Kwabenya, Adansi Asokwa, Asante Bekwa, Inshaiso, Bantama, Ewutu Sunya East, Nsawame Duejiri, Efia constituency, Ayawaso Central, Tano North, and Yendi. You just run us through a few of those, so we see what the electorate or the delegates in those areas have been thinking or are thinking ahead of tomorrow. Hello, Musa. Welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much.
Tomorrow is a day, and indeed, a lot of political watchers will be waiting to see how the MPP scales this particular war. Let's start off from Dome Kwabenya. It's been very interesting. Adjoa Safo has been away for a very extended period of time. She comes to apologize to the people, and it does appear that some people have forgiven her, others have not. She's using the fact that she was pregnant, she went to deliver, she didn't get a child, the other child was also sick, and so that meant that she had to stay out for extended period of time. I watched her speak to the market women, and it was a very emotive message she delivered to the people. And if you listen to her, you will feel that a woman especially would be touched by that story. as she was away, the polling station electoral coordinator elections were held. Delegates were chosen in her absence. I don't know what machinery she had in her absence. Now, old-time contender Mike Okoye Jr. Now is in the country, CEO of Free Zones Board. He has time. He is in the country. He's no more High Commissioner to India. He's been frequenting the constituency. And now we see a new entrant as well. What do you see from your work in the constituency? What do you think will be the outcome?
The outcome is very simple and clear. Ajusafu will not be returning to Parliament after 2024 election. Mabukwei will MPP candidate for W. Kwabinya come tomorrow.
And do we know exactly why? Because of her absence or because of events of the past?
I mean, her absence, events of the past, her TikTok antics, really, she has angered the delegates in W. Kwabinya. And even among her supporters, they are split between herself and Sheila. So she's really lost ground. And for you to be away when they do the elections of the polling station executives, really, it's not going to go well for her.
But and so I see the voting intention, as you captioned it. So 43% for Mike Okoye, just 10% for Ajusafu, and 10% also for new entrant Sheila Sechi. But a whopping 24% undisclosed and 13% undecided. The difference between Mike Okoye and Ajusafu in your poll is quite huge.
Yeah, it's quite huge, about 33%. And if you assume that even the undisclosed and undecided was split between Ajusafu and Sheila, I mean, she's not going to make it.
I see. How about Yendi? Farouk Mahama is going at it again with Hajia Habibata. How does that side look like too?
Yendi looks like he's going to retain the MP to contest again. Farouk, we expect Farouk to win the race tomorrow, even though there are about 70% undisclosed voters. We believe some of them will be for him.
I see. So from what I see here, voting intention, 44% for Farouk, and Abibata makes just 25%. Undecided, 14%, and undisclosed, 17%. So from your experience, this is clearly going out to Farouk.
Yeah, because he's just 6% away from half of the delegates, and MPP is a simple majority. So he is more closer to the winning number than Abibata Shani.
I see. How about Bantama? Asansu Boachi and then Rafa Japan.
I've been hearing noise going on there, but I think Asansu Boachi will win the race tomorrow. He's backed by almost 94% of the delegates in the constituency. And it doesn't matter what happens there between now and tomorrow in terms of resources, whatever you call it. I think he is so ahead that it will be difficult for Ralph to unseat him.
Wow. And I see here voting intention, 94% for Asansu Boachi, and just 1% for Ralph. 2% undecided, 3% undisclosed. That's quite a bold prediction to make.
This is no prediction. This is what they told us.
This is what the people said.
Yes, what people said. So this is no prediction. So, I mean, with this one, we don't bother to predict. The outcome will be as it is. The numbers may differ on the day, but the outcome will likely remain the same.
I see. In Sawam Aduejiri, Frank Anodompré and Hayford Siao, it doesn't appear like it's a race at all.
No, Anodompré will win the race tomorrow.
So from what I see here, 68% for Anodompré, and then Hayford gets just 3%, and then undisclosed is 29%.
We believe that most of the undisclosed will be for him, but that's not enough to topple him, topple Anodompré.
I see. Ifya constituency. I watched a report on CNR, and it did appear that Yaboama Nyakun was quite on the ground. I mean, the Joseph Kujo, who is minister in charge of public sector reform also, and he's been in parliament. It doesn't appear to be enjoying in a much favor, and it appears like a neck and neck. What do you say about that?
Yes, it appears neck and neck with the challenger, but we have huge number of delegates saying that they are not disclosing. With the huge number of people not disclosing, that doesn't tend to favor the incumbent. So he could be in trouble tomorrow.
I see. So 25.2% for Yabua Manyakun, 25.8% for Joseph Nyakun, and undisclosed 46.5%, and undecided 2.5%. Undisclosed, very, very huge.
Very, very, very huge. And if you are the incumbent, this should be a worrying sign for you.
I see. Musa, thanks so much. I know you'll be busy tomorrow. We'll be speaking again tomorrow. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Musa Dankwa is a pollster, and he's the chief executive at the Global Info Analytics. We just did a quick one with him on Point Blank tonight. This is how we conclude today's edition of the program. We came to you live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. Show produced by Nana Kobna Wilson and Beverly London and Sami Wiafe. Production assistance given by Daniel Squashi, and social media support given by Edwin Kwa Kofi. Up next, really, is Sports Panorama, and it's a program we've been waiting for all week. Coach Nimli is around. I see him around, and he's poised, and the other guys are also around. My name is Salam Adunu. Earlier, you heard Eno Safo. Have a good evening.